Welcome back to HLN. I'm Susan Hendricks. We have some breaking news. Two huge developments in the teacher abuse cases at Miramonte. The LA Times is reporting that a teacher's aide at the school allegedly wrote love letters to an 11-year-old boy. The woman no longer works for the school, and the Times was unable to locate her for comment. The boy's mother says she discovered the letters in 2009, and at first school officials and police ignored her. The incident is now being investigated by police and the LA Unified School District as well. Also, in another development, arrested for allegedly taking disturbing photos of students. That teacher is this man, Mark Burt. Some great points on Dr. Drew. The school has removed all of the employees and canceled classes until Thursday. When the students come back, they will have a new staff, all new teachers. How about this out of Georgia? It was a vicious beating videotaped and uploaded to YouTube this weekend. Now the victim of that attack is talking about it. And the Atlanta police, also the FBI, say it could have been a hate crime. We do want to warn you, it is disturbing to look at. The video shows several men. Not a lot of people saw this one coming. Did the Santorum sweep last night change the Republican presidential nomination? Rick Santorum went 3 for 3 Tuesday, winning in Colorado, Minnesota, Missouri. Political editor Paul Stein. Desperate 911 calls from a social worker just moments before she watched Josh Powell's home blow up with him and his 2 boys inside. Sister also called 911 after she got a voicemail from her brother. Here it is. Grace talks to Susan Powell's parents about what their family is going through after losing their grandsons. A woman crashes into a pond and her car begins to sink and fast. TV news anchor Greg Kelly will not face charges over rape allegations. A woman said the death of Soul Train founder Don Cornelius has been officially ruled a suicide now. He was found in his home last week with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The LA County coroner is still waiting for toxicology testing results. Cornelius' son talked to HLN Showbiz Tonight about a surprising conversation that he had with his father. Apparently, his father said he missed the train when he didn't give one pop star enough credit. Here it is. Yes, at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight on Showbiz Tonight. A man who lost part of his nose and ears in an explosion is getting a second chance now. Welcome back. We were telling you about a Canadian man badly burned in an explosion 6 years ago. His name is Pat Stamp. He was not a candidate for plastic surgery. So, a former trial of George Hughley. He is the former University of Virginia lacrosse player. For Jerry Sandusky, Pennsylvania prosecutors want the former Penn State coach to stay inside of his house at all times. He is out on bail accused of sexually abusing children on the Penn State campus. CNN contributor Sarah Ganem has been on this story from the start. And Sarah, as I understand it, parents in the area are concerned because his home is right near a playground. Is that right?
That's right. His home actually borders an elementary school, and the elementary school has a playground.
The change of venue, and I know that the prosecutors wanted this out of that area because they wanted this to be obviously a fair trial for Sandusky. Any news on that?
They don't want to move the trial away from Center County.
Paterno's Memorial. Sarah Ganem, thank you. Appreciate it. There is another round of illness on a Caribbean cruise ship where hundreds of people got sick just a few days ago. The Crown Princess, it's called. It will return to port tomorrow, 2 days early. About 200 passengers and crew reported feeling sick with a stomach bug on this voyage. Nearly 400 people got sick on the last one. Princess Cruises says it is working with the CDC now to give that ship an extensive 2-day cleaning. Did you know that now is a great time to buy a home? HLN money expert Clark Howard tells you the first step you should take toward home ownership. Great advice. Coming up, how about this? A mountain lion roaming a national park in Texas. An official from Big Bend National Park says this was the second attack in that same day in that area. That family fought the mountain lion, as you saw, with a knife, a backpack. Again, our thanks to KOSA for that story. A Virginia school district is telling kids do not bring Valentine's Day candy to school on your own. London County officials, other parents say they are relieved the kids will be getting less junk food on Valentine's Day. Some of the biggest names in fashion and entertainment came together last night to raise money for President Obama's re-election campaign. Runway to Win. Hearing from the man beaten in front of an Atlanta store in a possible hate crime. You'll see it on video. Welcome back. Back to HLN breaking news. Two huge developments in the teacher abuse cases in Miramonte. The details are a former teacher was arrested for allegedly taking disturbing photos of students at that school. To Georgia now, Atlanta police and the FBI are looking at a beating uploaded to the web over the weekend as a possible hate crime now. A big night last night for Republican candidate Rick Santorum. He has new momentum, you could say. No one really saw that coming. Today, he talked to supporters in a North Texas. Romney is in Atlanta today for a couple of fundraisers. His camp says, Newt Gingrich is way behind Mitt Romney in the early delegate count, but he is counting on a strategy of sorts to come from behind on Super Tuesday. He wants to do well in his native Georgia and other conservative states as well. That is his plan. Gingrich got a late start for yesterday's contest in Colorado and Minnesota, and he didn't get on the ballot at all in Missouri. Nearly 35,000 pounds of food left over from the Super Bowl will feed some hungry people. A group called a 17-year-old gets the shock of his life, really, after his friends allegedly threatened to kill him. One of the stars of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is opening up about her husband's death. More of Taylor Armstrong's interview with Dr. Drew tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. In today's What Matters report, a group of white teens invite an African-American friend over to their home in a Chicago neighborhood. A friend. The 17-year-old thought it was to play video games, but those other teens allegedly had other plans. Of this, police say the attackers were apparently upset the alleged victim was reportedly seeing one of their cousins who was white. Merritt says one of the attackers' phone rang. He says that was his chance to escape with his life. He was afraid for his life. He ran out of there. Joining us now to discuss what is going on here and why we're still talking about something so disturbing in 2012 is Hillary Shelton, NAACP Washington Bureau Director and Senior Vice President for Policy. Hillary, thanks so much for joining us today on the phone.
Well, listen, I'm delighted and honored to be with you.
How did you first hear about this and what were your first thoughts? Could you not really wrap your head around this? That's what I thought when I first read about it.
Well,
in response to this, how do they address something like this?
Well, I think...
Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
No, it's our pleasure.
What Matters is a partnership with Essence Magazine. It appears no one is safe in Syria. Opposition activists say 3 unarmed families, some 20 people, were wiped out in government raids on their homes in Homs. A former Susan G. Komen exec is blasting Planned Parenthood Karen Handel from resigning. She resigned from the Komen Foundation yesterday after a week-long controversy. That cut then reinstated. It got cut for Planned Parenthood, the funding here. She says the funding cut was not based on politics. Parents, you may be able to skip the goopy baby food altogether and head straight to solids. In a small study, 20-month-old babies fed themselves finger food. They were older, 20 months, while a smaller group was spoon-fed pureed food. After a few years, more spoon-fed kids were obese or overweight. Now, researchers here think allowing older babies, like 20 months of age, to feed themselves helps them pay attention to their appetites and develop more self-control over the food that they eat. The U.S. military is about to get a new robot that works like a mule. Here it is. The elder whale shark was so big, it took 3 cranes to get it out of the water. A high school hockey player paralyzed during a game is fighting not only to walk, but it's a horrific crime. The victim of a vicious beating. It was videotaped and uploaded to YouTube. He is now talking to reporters. We want to listen in on this.
I am Brandon White. I was the victim.